I think we're ready to begin.
Great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Offer Learning's annual meeting. Thank you for joining us this evening. Um, Starting off, I'm one of your MCs, Mary. I'm a senior at Winooski High School and also doing the early college program at CCV. I'm also a youth program specialist for Offer Learning. What this up mean to me is allows me the stage and space to be able to uplift youth and advocate for youth adult partnership in spaces where youth voices aren't really seen or heard. And yeah, and I'm going to pass it off to the other MCs.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jacoby Soder, and I am a youth program specialist with Up for Learning, just like Mary. I am a junior at Bellows Free Academy in St. Albans, Vermont. Um, and to me, what Up means is it's a space where you break down barriers for youth engagement and youth empowerment in in spaces where historically youth are not included. And you're gonna hear some big groundbreaking projects throughout tonight that youth have finally been included in. And for me, why youth adult partnership is I ask the question like, why not? Like, what are the downsides to youth adult partnership? And there isn't any, because by engaging youth at a young age, it means that you will have dedicated adults and people who are just willing to work together and build a good culture. And I'm going to pass it off to Ellie.
Evening, folks. I've got my stopwatch going. I'm ready to keep myself on time. My name is Ellie Neckers. I'm a senior at Lemoyne Union High School. I'm also a youth program specialist here at Up for Learning. My work with Up revolves mainly around the Lemoyne Union District. I work mainly with elementary schoolers and the Lemoyne Union Equity Design Team, which is a group of youth, adults, and community partners in Lemoyle. And I think one of the best things about the Youth and Development Partnership that we've built is the general climate of our school and understanding with everyone, like what it means to be partners in the work. And I think that it's led to much more intense and much more valuable conversations throughout our school. And I'm really excited to get to share the work that we've done at Lemoyle and the work of many others throughout this meeting. And so I'm gonna pass it off to Lindsay for some framing for this night.
Thank you, Mary, Jacoby, and Ellie, for the welcome. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. It's truly inspiring to gather with so many dedicated individuals who share a vision for empowering youth, transforming education, and building a more just and equitable society. Each one of you, whether you're an educator, a partner, a community leader, a young person, or a supporter, brings invaluable energy and commitment to this mission. This annual meeting is an opportunity to celebrate the progress we've made together, to reflect on our shared values, and to look ahead with purpose and unity. Our journey has always been about more than programs and projects. It's about creating a culture where youth voice is central, where education is a partnership, and where every young person feels seen, valued, and supported. As we reflect on this past year, let's recommit ourselves to the work that lies ahead. We will remain steadfastly committed to our values. Our values are our North Star. They inform our decisions and guide the actions we take. And we will endeavor to demonstrate with both our voices and our actions how these values are much more than just words. Relationships at the center. Our impact depends on authentic relationships rooted in trust, nurtured over the long term, and sustained through committed partnerships. Together, we will draw on these relationships to confront what lies ahead. We know the power of bringing communities together for connection, healing, and joy. And we have seen the transformative outcomes that happen when young people and adults engage in collective decision-making, reimagining learning spaces to foster equity, agency, and belonging. Amplifying youth voices. As we gather here today, let us remember that youth voices are not only central to UP's mission, they are a driving force behind systemic change. By supporting authentic youth-led partnerships, we are shaping a future where education is inclusive, representative, and empowering for all. Our work is as much about amplifying these voices as it is about co-creating spaces where young people can lead and contribute meaningfully to their communities. Commitment to equity and justice. At Up for Learning, we believe that educational equity is not simply a goal, it is a human right. Every young person deserves an education that reflects their unique perspectives, that values their contributions, and that provides pathways to success. As we continue to advocate for policies and practices that elevate student voice and agency, we are laying the groundwork for a just, equitable, and sustainable future. This year at UP, we've deepened our partnerships, welcomed new voices to our team, and strengthened our commitment to our mission. As we look forward, let us hold our values close. Let us act with purpose, and let us remain guided by our shared commitment to transforming education and empowering youth across Vermont and beyond. Together, we're part of a movement that reaches across communities, sparking change and inspiring others to reimagine what's possible in education. With each step forward, we're shaping a future where youth voice, partnership, and equity are woven into the fabric of every school, every community, and every system we touch. Thank you for your passion, your dedication, and your partnership. Let's continue this work with purpose, always expanding our vision and carrying our values forward to make an impact wherever our influence can be felt. I'm now really excited to share with you all some spotlight stories that just give you a sampling of the amazing work that's happened over the past year. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Pat Leclerc, who's going to introduce a team from Addison Northwest School District and their work over the past year. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, I'm happy to introduce the many folks who are here from Addison Northwest. One of the reasons why we wanted to share this work is I think it really exemplifies the cumulative impact that Up for Learning's programming can have on schools when there are multiple teams from multiple different schools in a district who are participating in this work and interacting with one another. So I'm going to pass it over to Matt, who will start by sharing a little bit about the work at Virgins Union Elementary School.
Thanks, Pat. We at Virginia Union Elementary School are identified by the state as a community school through Act 67, and three of the kind of five pillars relate to the work that we do in this regard, which are active family and community engagement, collaborative leadership, and safe, inclusive, and equitable learning projects. So really thinking about like what is the student's role in that? How do we engage students in understanding the data that we solicit from from students, especially as it relates to our social emotional screeners? How do we support a sense of belonging? How do we grow student voice as a mechanism to really use them as collaborative partners, and increase our sense of belonging and welcomeness in our institution? Kind of something that sticks out for me is we've had our members of this group present to our staff during staff meetings. It's been super well received. They've made some physical alterations to our space, and that's really made a difference in terms of like how students feel a part of the school. In terms of the impact, like I said, they made some noticeable things, and we're seeing some increases in our data in terms of our sense of belonging. I'm only supposed to talk for a minute, and I talk a lot, so I'm just gonna pass it along to Jay. But Stetzel at the middle school, but hope to continue our partnership with that moving forward. You're muted, Jay.
Okay, can you hear us okay? All right, excellent.
Yes.
All right, so I'm Jay Stetzel. I'm one of the middle school counselors at Virginia Union Middle School. I have with me Maddie Raymond, Roxanne Perry, Autumn Peacock. Oh, Roxanne Griffin, sorry. We have another Roxanne. I apologize, Roxanne. It's okay, we all make mistakes. I just made one. And Ava Foster, all 8th graders at Virginia Union Middle School, and they've been involved in the work that we've been doing. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is our work with Getting to Why and looking at youth risk behavior survey. So our schools had been involved with Getting to Why for a number of years, but this group last year was actually all new to it. So it was sort of like starting over. But we're psyched that this year some of them returned, and so we're in a second year of working on that. We're excited to have Liberty helping us with that work. So, and then the other, actually, I guess we'll focus on that first, right, Pat? And then we'll go to the transition stuff. Okay. So some thoughts from our students around the Getting to Why work that we've done.
Both programs have helped us build better bonds with the students that we're working with. So like when we went to go visit the elementary schoolers, like some of the elementary schoolers we didn't know, and we talked to them and we met them, and it was really fun, and we got to know people that we didn't know before. And we also went back and met people that we we have already met them, but we learned more about them than we had already known before, which I thought was really nice and fun.
I feel like this work has helped students feel more like they're valued and important because it's about like student partnership, and I feel like when change is made in the school, it makes students feel like what they said and their like opinions are like part of that change.
I feel like doing this I feel like I'm doing something important for my school and improving school, and also like it gives me a chance to hang out with friends and peers, and it just feels good to like try to make school a better environment for other people.
During that time, we grew our 5 guidelines. Our 5 guidelines are respect, responsibility, kindness, self-challenge, and integrity. And over that, it was kind of like a short time we got to work with them. But during that time, even though we were teaching them we were also teaching ourselves along the way. And we were just improving our school community and making things around us a lot better, which I'm really proud of us for doing.
Okay. I think Autumn's going to talk about what we're working on next related to Getting to Why.
Next, we're working on building a Getting to Why team for younger students to join us in the Getting to Why, because we feel like it's important for them also to be a part of what goes on in our school because they're new to it. Planning activities to get more students involved. There isn't really like activities like there was like in like elementary school. We had like a dance and stuff, and there really isn't any of that in the middle school right now. So we want to add more activities. Facilitating. This is so a data retreat with the 2023
It's okay, Jay made a mistake too.
YOBS data. And I also feel like trying to include younger students. Sorry, trying to include younger students, but also more male students, because so far we've only had a lot of girls. Like right now, it's 5 girls, the 4 of us, and then one sixth grader, and then one male seventh grader. But I think we want more boys to participate.
So we're kind of, I think we're going to move on to the next transition activities. So our transition activities in the past, we had, oh, are we still going? Sorry. Okay. So in the past, we had transition activities that happened with our rising middle schoolers. But Up for Learning this past year really helped us to expand those. And what it allowed us to do is to actually have activities starting at the elementary schools. Before, all the activities were at the middle schools, or we're here at the middle school. And so it involved the elementary school students sooner. It allowed families to participate in more transition activities. And as a result, better comfort in terms of coming into middle school. So yeah, so we'll go ahead for this next part here. I guess we'll skip over Autumn's because she ran to the bathroom, but what are you doing? Because you're up. All right, Roxanne, can you go ahead and share yours? And
I feel like being a part of the panel at the Ferrisburg Middle School Transition Activity helped the students feel better about coming to middle school because we answered their questions about what they were scared of and what they're excited for, and it kind of helped them get a better understanding of what it's going to be like at the school and like what the culture is like and how their classes are going to happen. So I thought that was really helpful, and a lot of students have said that that was something that made like their transition a lot easier for them.
I really like being part of the student panel and answering questions for the elementary students because it was very interactive, and I felt like it was helpful for them to like get like a real life perspective on people who had the transition.
The transition activities that like Jesse and Pat planned were always interactive and engaging. Like there's never really a time I feel like where any of us, well, including Autumn Bottoms out, felt bored, and we had a fun time, and I always wanted to repeat do that over again because it was so fun. And we were always up, like I feel like we were active and we were moving around, and it was just really fun to like be active because when you think about it, it's not really fun if you're just writing all that down and it feels like we're in school, which was
okay, great. So the other feedback that we had too, I mean, we really appreciated Up for Learning partnering with us because we hadn't thought about how to do this transition differently, and Up for Learning really helped us, to do that. The last piece would be that any of the survey or debrief information that we got from families, from students, was always positive, and that the events that got planned at both the elementary schools and at the middle school were really helpful for that transition. In fact, we just had at conferences a couple weeks ago a number of parents who have really appreciated how well the transition's gone. They feel like their students really eased into middle school, and it was because of those things that happened in the spring that Up for Learning helped us with. That really made that transition go so well. So thank you, Pat and Jesse, and everyone else who's involved with us in those things.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you everyone for staying after school to share about this. I'll pass it over to you, Lindsay.
Yes, thank you, team. Really appreciate you staying and being a part of our annual meeting. I'm going to turn it now over to our board chair, Up for Learning's Rector's Chair, Eli Pine, and Pat will put you in the spotlight for a few words from Eli.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Nice to have everyone here. It's great to be here. I would love to just talk a little bit about something that the board and the family of Ben Williams, the former co-chair of the board, have been working on, which is a scholarship that will honor Ben's life. For those of you who don't know, Ben Williams was a integral part of Up for Learning from the beginning. He spent many, many years on the board, and many of those years as the chair. He was really dedicated to the organization and also to education in general. He often called it small e education, which for him meant education in every sort of sector, every part of your life. And then also he taught for many years and ran Goddard College's teacher education program, and went on to do some amazing consulting work around the country. So for Ben, UP was a really, really important part of the education world, and we really would like to honor his contributions to the organization and to the education field in general with this scholarship, that will be for any graduating seniors who have worked with UP as a youth facilitator, as interns, in any real capacity. And this scholarship will apply to anything from, post-grad plans to go into the workforce, from trade school to college. And we are, yeah, I think Lindsay would just put in the chat that we have the link here that can be used to donate to the scholarship fund. One little thing on the link here, once you go to the website that allows you to donate to this fund, you'll see that there's a little button at the end just above the donate button that says dedicate this donation. If you wish to dedicate to Ben Williams Scholarship Fund, just put the dedicatee's name. So that would be Ben Williams right in that line. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
Eli.
so much,
I'm gonna pass
Eli.
it to Katie.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eli. I'm here to introduce a project that is near and dear to my heart. We did a partnership with the United Way of Delaware and the Delaware Department of Education, where Black student unions from across the entire state, students from each of these Black student unions were coming together to think about to participate in the YPAR cycle and think about what is an issue that is near and dear to their hearts and their communities that they see as a need. And they created research designs based off of these and implemented amazing projects in their school communities. I have two folks here that are going to speak with me. I'm going to pass it to Tierra in a moment from the United Way of Delaware to speak from their perspective, and then we'll pass it to Kenny to talk a little bit more in depth about these amazing projects that came about from the incredible youth that were participants. So I'll pass it over to you, Tierra.
Hi, everyone. I am Tiara Farah. I am the Vice President of Engagement and Partnerships at United Way, and we are so excited to have been able to partner in this way. For us, we already work with Black students across the state every year. We actually do student summits. We do 3 a year. So we have a Latino student summit that this is our second year doing it. We have a Pride Student Summit that this is last week was our 12th year doing this, and the Black Student Summit which will have 4 years in. And I think the most important thing for us is always trying to find ways to not just have them get excited and learn about advocacy for that one day, but to have them do something throughout the school year that they feel like is meaningful. I think another thing that was so important about this project is that we were able to find the funding to pay them to do this. A lot of times students are giving their expertise and their thoughts and in learning, but they're not always able to be paid to do that. And we all know as adults that we usually get paid for our expertise and thoughts. And so it's always amazing to be able to do that for students as well, to teach them about professionalism, to be able to wrap that in anything that we're doing is so important to us. And so we are really grateful to be able to partner in that way. We also were just really blown away by the parent support. And so that was something that was underlying that we didn't initially have as a goal, but it's something that the students we end up just being there. And so we definitely had near peer mentors, and Kenny will talk a little bit more about their research projects. But what we saw was that we had a lot of parent support, and their families were so excited that we poured into them. And I think that is another thing that is really, really important is often students aren't able, they do all this amazing work at school, but their families aren't always able to see them shine and be amazing. And so this was an opportunity for us to also show the parents how amazing their students are, what their students are thinking, the research that they're able to do, the bright thoughts that they have. And so we are really excited because the future is really bright here in Delaware. And thank you, Up for Learning, for helping us to really showcase and have this experience for our students. Kenny, I'll let you take it away to just talk them a little bit more about the research projects.
Thank you, Tara. Hi, everybody. My name is Kenny Norwood. I'm a youth program specialist at Up for Learning and a sophomore at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut. And what's interesting about this project actually is this is how I got connected to UP. I was an intern with United Way of Delaware during the springtime. And through this partnership, we were able to help students understand the research process and really get into the nitty-gritty of their schools to ultimately introduce positive change. They addressed issues such as microaggressions, the lack of Black students in AP courses, and looking at health equity issues in Black communities. Um, One student actually partnered with a health organization, local health organization, to bring in some CPR and other health training to their students to help expand that access. And with this work, I got a close opportunity. I got an opportunity to work closely with the youth and really shape their projects, their decision making, how they were going about their research process. And it was truly inspiring, honestly. It was truly inspiring to be in a space where students wanted to create positive change and were determined to do so. And with that, I was just really inspired overall with UP's work, and it brought me onto their team. I'm now a youth program specialist, about 2 months in, working with UP, and I just enjoy being able to spread the love of education, that passion, and overall just helping students become their best selves. So yeah, this was a great project, and yeah, thank you UP for this and this partnership.
Thank you, Kenny. And thank you, Tiara. I am Susanna. I am a program director at UP, and I am fortunate to be collaborating with some incredible youth facilitators on a monthly series called the Racial Justice Dialogues. So I'm going to pass it over to Lib, Macy, and Isis to tell you a little bit more about those.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Maisie Frankie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a youth program specialist with Up for Learning. And so honored to be a racial justice dialogue facilitator along with such an awesome crew. A lot of us are here tonight and in other roles. So the three that are going to be chatting are not all of us. There's a lot. It's an awesome team. So the racial justice dialogues have been going on for a number of years now. I think maybe 3 or 4, which is incredibly exciting. And they are a monthly discussion led by youth facilitators from Vermont, Delaware, and Connecticut, and a kid used to be mainly from Mississippi as well. And so we get together and plan these dialogues and then help facilitate them, and really encourage students and teachers to come and chat with us and learn a little bit, and then also have the opportunity to discuss and talk through some things that are coming up for us in the moment. And it could be current events or lessons on intersectionality. I'll mention our next one coming up is going to be about immigration and myth busting and misinformation. So if you're interested, November 20th, I'll put a little plug in there. But that's a little about what they are and how long they've been around. And I'll pass over to Isis for a little bit about your experience.
Thank you, Maisie. I've really loved being a part of racial justice dialogues these past 5 years. Just like Lindsay said in the chat, we actually started when I was a freshman in high school. So I was like a part of the first group to do racial justice dialogues, and since then, it's really crazy and honestly, like really inspiring just to see like how it's grown over the years, and how it's expanded into different states, and how we've been able to expand, and reach youth and adults in a lot of different capacities. So what's really excited me about being a part of the dialogues, is being able to connect with so many youth and adults, from across the US, and they each have a variety of different experiences, of different perspectives. Even though I'm from Connecticut, I actually joined, when I went to school in Mississippi for a few years. So that was like really crazy for me. And it really felt like a way to like get my opinions out there, to learn more about what was going on, and to also like be informed about like different current events. And I feel like the racial justice dialogues have also acted as a sort of middle ground for people to come together, for them to share their opinions, for them to learn from others, in a safe and open environment where people want to learn, where they want to educate themselves, and where they're always willing to listen, um, and learn a bit more. So, what I'm looking forward to with the racial justice dialogues is incorporating different current events. In the past, we've done things like racism in athletics. Last month, we focused on intersectionality, what that means and how it impacts different people. We've learned about some Indigenous history. So, be on the lookout because we have some really, really cool topics going up. And like Maisie said, we meet on the third Wednesday of every month from 9:30 to 10:45. We always welcome new participants. And it's a really great space. And I just realized I never introduced myself. So hi, my name is Isis Bandele Asante. I'm a first year student at Bowie State University in Maryland, and I'm a youth program specialist with UP. And now I'll pass it on to Liberty.
Thank you, Susanna and Isis and Maisie, for your wonderful words on that and for the racial justice dialogues. As I said, it's open to everyone, so feel free to register in the chat. We really do some amazing conversations there, and it's always a good time. Next, coming up for Spotlight is on our youth intern program, which is pretty important. This is literally what I was hired for. My name's Liberty Below. I am a program associate for the Youth Intern program, as well as the Getting to Y program. In this specific program, the Youth Intern program, was created for two reasons. One, to incorporate more youth voice in our organization and live up to our values. And two, to help train youth, in the workforce aspects and skills that they'll need to carry on to them, in their careers afterwards, and especially careers in education, if that's what they're pursuing. We have 9 wonderful youth program specialists, many of which you've already heard from today. And they do amazing work all over the state and even outside of the state of Vermont, for us. We also have around 40 youth interns, in Vermont, in Massachusetts, in Delaware, New Hampshire, all kinds of places. And they are also doing phenomenal work in their schools, as you've seen from Virgins. The basis of this program is that we have these youth program specialists come to our staff meetings, engage in our projects, and we work personally with youth interns in their own schools to make change, through personalized support and scaffolding, as well as just opportunities, to show what they can do, to build their skills, and to prepare them for life afterwards. And I'm so excited to pass it on to our youth program specialist, Mary, I believe is first, to talk a little bit more about it.
Yes, hi everyone. I would just like to share some of the words. So how I first became a youth intern was at my school. I was in the anti-racism steering committee at Winooski, and that's when I was a youth intern for about a year. And then I'm now a youth program specialist. And Upfield Learning has really allowed me to build the skills of being a facilitator and a leader in my own school and outside of Winooski as well. Being in the youth program specialist program has allowed me to work with youth across Vermont and outside. And I really enjoy being a role model to advocate for youth and to make sure that this work is sustainable. So we will have a constant flow of leaders. And I would like to pass on to Olivia.
Hi everyone. I'm a youth intern with UP. My name's Olivia. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a sophomore at CVU High School. I think UP has really helped me find like confidence in my facilitation skills. It's also taught me how to like have uncomfortable conversations, all of which I think will be really beneficial to me in the future. I would really like to go into law or politics, and I think having a background in like talking with people from a lot of different backgrounds and being comfortable with being uncomfortable and just like um, knowing things about equity, hearing lots of different perspectives has really helped me to like understand what my potential profession might have. And I think it's also just really fueled my passion for being around people and hearing everyone out. And yeah, and I'll pass it on to Ellie.
Hi everyone. Once again, my name is Ellie Neckers. I'm a senior from Lemoyne Union High School. I'm also a youth program specialist with UP. I got involved with UP in my freshman year of high school when I attended the Lemoyne Union Equity Design Team, and since then, totally blew up. And now I'm here doing a part-time job with UP. And I think the importance of the YIP and the Youth Program Specialist program is it's preparing you skills to use in the real world currently. We're in such a divided time in which we need more mediators, we need more active listeners, and we need people who can understand the complexity of what's going on in our world. And what the YIP and youth action, youth program specialist roles do is they prepare you for that. And in a way, to have conversation and not just be divisive and not just argue, it really shapes the way that you think about the world and the world around you and how you interact with others. And I'm beyond grateful for the experience that I've been able to have. And I'm passing it off to a current YIP, Lily Jean French.
Hi, whoa, sorry, I haven't talked much today. Hi, I'm Lily Jean French. I'm a freshman at Lemoyne Union High School in Vermont, and this is my first year directly working with UP. I started out in the high school's equity design team in my 8th grade year, and then Ellie suggested this program to me, and I decided to join because I find this work really important, and it has made me a better person, and it's just also made me a lot happier doing this work.
Thank you. Thank you, youth intern program team. We really are a great bunch. I don't want to toot our own horn. But I'm going to introduce the school safety project, which was an ongoing project, and that team is gonna introduce themselves and talk to you a little bit about what this historic project has done for us.
Thanks, Jacoby. I'm thinking, Mary, you were up to introduce the school safety work.
Okay, so at of Learning, we're doing a school safety program where we held dialogues and surveys across Vermont to just figure out what's school like for youth and what safety like in our students' environments. And what we got from that was a lot of like meaningful and powerful insights from our students. They seem really passionate about their own safety in schools, which is important. If we're going to talk about school safety, then the first people we want to hear from first is going to be our youth. And I believe we also have a video to share, right? Let's play that. This video really shows how those dialogues went and a little more on the youth perspective.
So I think first, Mary, I know I'm super excited to share the video. We also have Courtney O'Brien here, who's an operations director from the Agency of Education, to share a little bit more context about the background of the project first.
Great. Courtney, do you want to have the stage?
I would be honored to. Thank you, Mary. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. As Pat mentioned, my name is Courtney O'Brien. I am currently an interim operations director at the Agency of Education. Previously, I worked as an operations manager. We've just kind of shifted some roles on our team recently, but I've been grateful to be involved in this project for some time. To elaborate a bit on Mary's introduction to this work, the Vermont School Safety Center is a partnership between the Agency of Education, so our state agency of education, and the Department of Public Safety, specifically the Vermont Emergency Management Division. So together, we have representatives that form what is called the Vermont School Safety Center, which provides resources, training, information, and supports to all Vermont schools around all things safety. In 2023, Vermont state policy introduced several new requirements for Vermont schools around physical safety and security. They ranged from the implementation of threat assessment teams in schools to access controls, some additional requirements around emergency drills, and reporting of those activities. And so one of the initiatives that the Vermont School Safety Center was working toward was this annual conference called the Governor's School Safety Conference. Conference is more than 10 years old at this point. It brings together lots of school safety stakeholders across the state, not just state employees, but we have lots of representation from educators and law enforcement and emergency management partners. And so it's this really wonderful opportunity for anyone involved in school safety to come together. And as we were preparing for the 2024 conference, we had an idea that was really rooted in needing to incorporate student voices and perspectives in a conversation that had been so heavily based around policy implementation. And so that is how this project was born. We also, as we started to move into this work, realized that there were not really any existing opportunities in Vermont for such large-scale data collection around school safety initiatives. And so this was really the first initiative of this scale that allowed us to create some data, and really just, I have to provide some props and high fives to the UP team for being able to root this work and evidence-based data collection and making sure we had a really rigorous collection process so that this was something that could help support us moving forward. I just want to give a shout out. We just have so many good things to say about our experience with Up for Learning. I think that the youth facilitation was absolutely key in being able to get really transparent and comprehensive and insightful responses from students and youth. And we found them to be, in some places, to validate things that we had already suspected were happening. And in some places gave us some really, really good information to follow up on. So we thank you all. It was such a good opportunity, and we are looking forward to more work with Up for Learning in the future.
Thank you, Courtney. And yeah, as Mary had said, we worked with a documentary filmmaker, Ned Castle, for a good portion of this project. So now there's a short, I think a 3.5-minute long clip of a longer piece that he's put together, exploring the facilitation process here.
So we just wanted to start off by giving you all a brief intro into what you're doing here. You might have some context, but also some of you might be here because your friends were like, oh, come to this thing, you get free pizza. In 2016, the Vermont School Safety Center was formed in collaboration with Vermont's Agency of Education and Department of Public Safety. Safety means different things to different people, so we really want to hear all of your concerns, thoughts, and perspectives. So that's a little bit of background, and really just emphasizing that the things that you all share today and what we talk about is going to be heard by adults.
With the norms in mind, we're going to read a poem together called Brave Space. I can start. Together, we will create brave space.
Because there is no such thing as a safe space.
I think it's important for youth to be involved in school safety dialogues because it gives them a voice, or at least a space to share what they're experiencing as students themselves.
We're gonna have 5 teams of 8, and she's gonna give you all a number, and please remember that number.
Chalk Talk it's a silent activity. So if you look around, we've got some posters up around the room. You'll read the question and respond in a written response. You can write, you can draw, whatever comes to you, and if we've got some time, then we will look at some themes together.
They are, direct stakeholders. They're directly impacted by drills and lack of communication and anything involved with school safety. For so long, they've been historically not included in this conversation despite that.
Big themes that we came up with, we saw a lot on the poster, was talk to a trusted adult, feel safe, and no words.
And there was support from our UP partners because at UP we believe in youth adult partnership. But for the circles, all of them were facilitated by youth program specialists. So this is our talking piece. When you have the talking piece, you're the only person talking. We're going to do a circle round, so I'm just going to pass it around the circle when I ask each question. When you get the talking piece, we ask that you just hold it. If you want to pass, you are fully welcome to. There's no obligation to speak about any of these questions. So you're just going to take it and then pass it on to the next person. That is completely fine.
I feel like basically every day I feel safe.
I was walking to school and I got approached by this guy. I just ran into the school because I didn't feel safe.
I think they need to stop sugarcoating things as much and kind of just, tell us how it is. And it might make us feel more scared, but at the same time, I think it might also help us to be more prepared.
When if we have a practice fire drill or something, or a practice lockdown, it makes me feel a lot safer knowing everyone knows what to do and the teachers take action knowing that if it really did happen that I would be safe.
So you see that it's much more effective when you have youth planning it and you see the results and it's tangible and right in front of you.
What it means to be safe at school is you can separate yourself from whatever's going on else in your life, and you can just go to school and learn.
You don't have to worry about what's going on outside the building or anything bad inside.
And being able to share your opinions without fear.
There's just been clear youth involvement at every step of the project and every stage. So I think that's just a really great example of how deeply ingrained youth voice was within the project. Right, perfect. So first, big thanks to Ned and his team for all of their work and their collaboration in making that video. So my name is Anna Lindert Boys. I'm a youth program specialist with Up for Learning. I use she, her pronouns, and you might recognize me from the video. So now that you've gotten more of a sense of what this work has looked like previously, we wanted to just give you a few of our next steps as an update. So for the past couple of weeks, as a youth adult team, we've been working on some data analysis, so pulling up big themes from the chalk talks, the circles, and the survey. And then eventually it's all going to contribute to our final report for the Agency of Education, which is also going to include suggestions for adults, schools, adults, and other administrators and policymakers moving forward related to school safety based on things that we found in these dialogues. So I think someone is going to drop a one-pager in the chat if anyone is interested in learning more about the project overall, some of our initial learnings, or watch the full video because this was just a shortened version. And so now I'm going to pass it over to Jacoby and Ellie.
Alrighty. Jacoby's going to start us off, but we're going to do a reflection activity to really get our brains flowing again and to really put into text what we've been talking about for this entire hour.
Yeah, so thank you all for staying with us. And I would first like to highlight how this is probably a little bit different if you've ever been to an annual meeting with another organization, or if this is your first one. Many other annual meetings that you will be a part of will not be like this. There will most likely not be youth presenting and facilitating and youth creating this meeting and youth even being invited and at the meeting. And we try and make it engaging. So part of at Up for Learning, we like to practice what we preach. We preach having conversations and debriefing everything that we do. And so we wanted to walk you all through an opportunity to debrief today. So we are going to invite you all to answer the Padlet that is linked in the chat. And the question that you are going to be responding to is, what what's in your head, heart, and feet? Like, what are you feeling in your head, heart, and feet? And Lindsay, who is on the screen right now, is gonna demonstrate how you create your own Padlet.
Thanks, Jacoby. Yeah, so you can respond to any of these questions or all of these questions. So after hearing all of those spotlight stories and hearing from a variety of our partners, what are you thinking about? What's in your head? Or what's in your heart? What are you feeling? Or what's in your feet? What will you take away from our meeting? And or what are you moved to do? And the way that you go about leaving a comment is click on the link. It will take you to this funky Padlet. You hit the plus sign. You can write something incredible where it says write something incredible. If you have extra special text skills, you could even put images and all that, but all you have to do is respond here. And then you post it and then you're good to go. And we'll leave this up. I'm going to put on some music. What we'll do is we'll take just a couple minutes for you to reflect and then we'll come back together. You don't want to leave early because we're going to announce the winner to our cabbage cheese raffle and close our meeting. But we'll put on a song while you do some reflection. And you can also put your reflection in the chat and our MCs will lift it up there too. So reflect away and I'm going to get some music on.
Alrighty, seeing under the what's in your head, what the future of youth interns and youth program specialists can look like. Impressed by all the work that went into and continues to go into the school safety project. So proud of people facilitating this work. Happy Virgo says, I'd love to know more about the school safety survey results. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting set of data there. Pat, who I might think is Pat LeClaire, said, I'm thinking about how amazing it is that UP brings youth into so many aspects of their work. Agile Penguin says, how does UP help even more schools engage in true youth and adult partnership? That's a great question. And I think one of the coolest things about that question is that we are in 94, like 95% of all Vermont schools. Lindsay can correct me, but I believe that's the number, or we've worked in 94 to 95% of all Vermont schools. Super cool, super great. Yeah. In the what's in your heart section, Optimistic Lion says, their heart is warm seeing the amazing youth program specialists and youth interns leading the meeting. IL Grammy says, gratitude for all the youth who are involved. Adventurous Flamingo, so happy to know that youth are taking advantage of all the opportunities, so impressed. And these aren't even all the opportunities that are being offered. And I want to make that so clear is that there are so many incredible other opportunities that go on through UP. And as I'm applying to college as a senior, it's so great to be able to put under my resume, presented at this conference or help with this project. And so it really is not only like helping your community, but it's helping yourself in the long run. What's in your feet that I need to think about, including student voice more. It's a long road and it's something that Upper Learning can definitely help with. Adventurous Hummingbird, I need to keep engaging youth in all my work and ensuring that we feel uplifted to speak our minds. Such a great sentiment to be doing right now. Kim Hunt, looking forward to more inspiring work from students. A stronger push to continue working. Confident Meerkat says, I'm moved to continue my work with Upper Learning and learn from my fellow youth interns to keep making Vermont schools and communities a better, more safe space. Amazing stuff.
Amazing. Thank you, Ellie, for lifting up all those reflections. And I think maybe just to keep you on just until really the real end, I'm going to do my closing remarks and then we'll pull our winner. And then if people are up for it, well, if you're interested in taking a group photo, we'd love to have you. And we'll put on some music and you continue to reflect, but I'm going to share a few remarks. And then we'll do our raffle drawing. So as we wrap up today, first of all, thank you all so much for being here. Let's remember our work, that our work is powerful, purposeful, and far-reaching. Every relationship we build, every youth voice we amplify, and every step we take towards equity in education strengthens communities and inspires others to join in making positive change. Together, we're fostering a culture of civic engagement where young people are valued as partners in shaping our collective future. Thank you all for your commitment and partnership. Let's keep moving forward with courage and vision to create a more just and empowered world. And if we can have a drum roll, please. Ellie, you ready to share our winner?
I am. This is what I do best, folks. You can catch me doing raffles like every Sunday. So a drum roll for the winner of our incredible Cabot cheese gift certificate is Matthew DeBloy.
A wonderful partner. Congrats, Matthew. You will be getting an amazing Cabot cheese basket. And stay tuned because during our month of giving, there's going to be a lot more options in our raffle, and someone's probably going to put them in the chat there. And what we'll do next for the last, if you want to stay on for a few minutes, we'll take a group photo. So if you're willing to turn on your camera and say cheese, we'd love to have you in a group photo. And if you don't want your camera on, that's totally fine. And then we'll put on some music and you continue to hang out for a few minutes and reflect and say hello to people. And then we'll be on our way. Thank you.